This is Beth, an undergraduate student. Due to COVID-19, all her courses have been moved online. She barely interacts with other classmates. It is a classroom norm that they all turn off the camera and mute themselves. She is stressed out because the final is around the corner, feeling like she is stuck in a cramped cubicle and having no way to escape. It is a common phenomenon among students. Many universities have 24/7 mental health hotlines to address these issues. Meanwhile, how are faculty dealing with the sudden shift to the online format? Are they holding up under the strain? Let's see a typical day of an assistant professor to have a grasp of reality. This is Alice, a woman of color, an assistant professor, a non-native English speaker, a mother, a wife, and a daughter. She has a big plan for her future, pursuing a tenure track and nurturing her students to thrive. It's Monday morning. Alice got up at 6 a.m. and started her day with a cup of morning coffee. She made full use of the quiet hour to reply emails and prepare courses. Then she made breakfast for the family. She was in a rush because her daughter would have online classes at home at 8:30 a.m. Her class started at 9 a.m. Recently, she felt nervous and even panicked before starting the Zoom meeting. Nonetheless, she hid her emotions in her warm welcoming to the students. "How are you doing?" she asked. Nobody answers verbally. Just some message popped up in the chat box. As usual, they all turned off their cameras, muted themselves. She was the only performer. Sometimes she wondered if the students were really on the other side of the screen. She felt like she is having a Zoom meeting with robots, not human beings. "I hope you are doing well." She chose to self-answers the questions to avoid the awkward silence. After the lecture, the second agenda was an in-class quiz. She published the quiz, but her students couldn't have access to it for unknown reasons. She called IT immediately. Although she didn't have any complaints from her students, she still felt stressed for keeping them waiting. After a quick lunch, Alice had to attend a pile of Zoom meetings. Department meeting, teaching workshop, research discussion. During the department meeting, her daughter came in, asking for help. "Hon, could you please help yourself?" Alice refused her several times and she started crying loudly. Alice explained to her colleagues that she had to leave to take care of her daughter. She found it so hard to focus with so many distractions at home. The one after another Zoom meetings made her exhausted. When she was about to take a rest, she received an email from Equity and Inclusion Office. They invited her to attend a panel meeting on addressing equity, diversity and inclusion issues. She hesitated. She knew she was invited because she was an adequate representation of Asian faculty. She was undecided about whether she would attend. On one hand, she was willing to stand up for marginalized people, fighting against systemic oppression. On the other hand, she was overwhelmed by the academic workload. Obviously, the additional EDI work won't directly help her to gain the tenure track. After a day work, Alice got an overseas call from her parents, telling her to stay home due to the pandemic. She was trying to comfort her parents. But she lost her temper when she heard that her parents hadn't gone for a regular medical examination as she requested. Hanging up the phone, Alice checked her Facebook to relax, and saw a picture of drinking with her friends at a restaurant. She found that she hadn't had a physical connection with her friends for over half a year. When Alice was browsing online, she accidentally noticed that she had 2 more negative reviews on the RateMyProfessor website. It says, "Although her lectures are good, her accent really affects my learning experience." Then she checked reviews of other non-native faculty, and found that students rate the French accent as cute accent. She was shocked and blamed herself, and pondered how she could improve her accent to get better student evaluations, so that it wouldn't affect her tenure track application. Evenings were her working hours, and her husband would take care of their daughter. Thinking about the conversation with the dean, who suggested that publishing more papers could help her enter the tenure track, Alice decided to focus on her current research project. However, her daughter still interrupted her work from time to time. It was 11 p.m. at night. Everyone was sleeping. Alice was making a weekly plan. She found every day was jam-packed with a tight schedule. She felt suffocating when she taking a second look at her schedule. She got an email from the university, saying that as faculty, it was their responsibility to offer high-quality courses and take care of students' well-being. This email got her self-questioned. Whether she is a qualified assistant professor? Whether she is a qualified mom? She was. Burnout. In Chinese culture, we frequently use candles as a metaphor for teachers. Because teachers are supposed to sacrifice themselves for students to thrive. However, when we portray teachers as selfless saints, we dehumanize them to perpetual motion machines. So, if the candle is burning out, how does it light itself and illuminate others? If faculty is responsible for students' well-being, then who is accountable for faculty burnout?